And of course TSM set to get underway. Can't wait to see how this one's going to break out. Let's see it. I mean, spray's already being placed in the mid lane. Do we see an early level 1 team fight here between these two, John?
I mean, you could. I'd not sure who'd favor. Maybe Team Spirit just a little bit, but you can't underestimate what TSM can do. We'll go for a smoke. They were outside of the ward vision at least. So we'll see what direction they go.
Run down towards the south. So southeast is where they'll go. TSM trying to wrap around through the Radiant jungle. They might run right into Yatoro here. Yatoro trying to set up for the bounty rune. There is a lot of heroes on the high ground. This could be quite bad for TSM, but they're still rushing forward. They're going to find Yatoro. He'll pump the spin immediately and just kind of run away. So TSM, they do a decent job of securing the bounty rune. Ultimately, cannot really secure a kill here against Team Spirit, who were seemingly prepared for it. In which case, of course, we're just going to go to the landing stage. I don't believe either side is going to stick around to try and go for any first bloods. I say that. I suppose you could start off with a trial lane in this meta, but for now, at the very least, we'll get into the laning stage. Of course, bot lane, you're going to see Ahri and Miposhka going at it right now. They're going to be joined by Kasane and Yatoro, but for now, Ahri and Miposhka just going to go for a bit of a fight down to this bot jungle, and it seems like in the end, Ahri just going to be forced to back out of there. He is against the techies after all.
Yeah, you don't win the right-click trade there. No way, not with the techies base damage and your armor on the sky. Still taking a peek at that mid lane. It's Bryle on the Wind Ranger up against Laurel on the Storm Spirit. Again, this should be pretty smooth for a Wind Ranger, not the worst thing in the world. Should be able to manage that lane for the most part. The level spike for the Storm Bearer is pretty nice up top.
Oh boy, first blood already being drawn here. Mirror going down to Whitemon, who just chases him down with the Frost Blast and the Blood Grenade. And well, Whitemon already off to a fantastic start with some bonus gold here, John.
Yeah. All that eating giving him the energy he needs to play like that. So you wanna stay energized when you go into these games. Seeing some action down bot as well. A little poke and prodding onto Yatoro. Again, Kasane on the offlane Deuce is gonna be an interesting one to watch out for. I think the offlane Deuce is just not something we see TSM run. I've seen this a lot in other regions, Western Europe in particular has a lot of this, but just how much Kasane can get is gonna be interesting, especially up against a techies lane. Mind you, we're not seeing that aggression you were talking about with the Techie's Jug. It's a little bit harder to gap close with a Skywrath Mage popping all his spells out. And the Deuce is still fairly tanky despite having, you know, not the highest HP, but the Mana Shield at level 2, it's more than enough of a barrier for Kasane to feel safe.
Yeah, I mean, you do hit level 2 now, Miposhka, so you could try to go for a kill here onto Ahri or Kasane. Yatoro might want the level 2 spin, but just with the blast off Sticky Bomb itself, pretty big power spike for the techies here in the laning stage, if you did want to go in right now. Miposhka, not going to do it for now. It's top lane. It's Tomato and Whitemon again standing there against Collapse and Mirror. Collapse probably going to have a pretty good time, right? Like, there's not really much in the way of doing anything about him, though. As I say that, Collapse is going to get chased down a little bit here with the Blood Rite and the Frost Blast. So you do have that nice combination. But Collapse, once he has the Ring of Health up, I don't think he's going to be in too much danger here in this this top lane. It's probably going to turn to a very stagnant kind of laning phase for the top side.
Yeah, should just default to quite a fair bit of farming for both sides, which is cool.
Getting very close, missing the Sticky Bomb there onto Ahri, but has the blast off to use if he wants. Yatoro was rushing forward, but decides better of it as Miposhka could not find a nice angle for the blast off. Thing for Ahri though, like on a Skywrath Mage with 0 base armor, it's pretty hard to stand against his techies.
Yeah, you just can't trade. He has 700 range, he has a lot of damage just with a few stats coming out from Magic
just
Wand.
Dead, I think. Yeah, he's gone.
What a balance here.
Jonathan, Ahri is going to drop.
Yeah, what a balance here. 700 range, 62 to 64 damage swing with just the wand. Balanced. I see no issues.
Very balanced indeed. No issues whatsoever. As now Kasane's in trouble. They've got the blast off available here, John. They don't even need it. Or maybe they did. Yatoro not able to secure the kill. Had the healing ward going, but it's not going to be enough. They will secure the kill onto Yatoro as now Kasane looking to turn this one around. Miposhka trying to run. Decides better of it. We'll just secure a CS. It's Kasane finding a double kill on the Medusa. And I'll tell you, John, he looked as good as dead. but the one charges proved to be enough. No blast off being committed to really try and secure that kill on the Deucer, and it does cost them on the side of Spirit.
That's a strong showing already from the side of TSM. Just getting those 2 kills onto Kasane of all people, managing to use his wand charge very well to get a little bit of that shield back. Again, the damage block is pretty damn big. It's something you have to be concerned about as we do see the replay here.
They will secure the kill onto Yatoro as now Kasane looking to turn this one. Collapse is being chased down right now at the top lane as well, while we were just looking at a highlight. Whitemon. They're going to go for the chase on Mira. Tomato has that level 2 thirst, so he's a very, very speedy boy at the moment. And Mira, he's 1 lead charge away from being able to get out and does commit it. So he's going to be just fine. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Yatoro has ended up picking off Ari once again. So they do find the Skywrath. Kasane's dropping extremely low on HP. In fact, Maposhka looks like he wants to go for a chase. Look at the damage he's dealing right now to this Deucer. I mean, she's got 340 HP. She's sticking around though. Maposhka, he'll keep going. Mango was 8 there by Kasane as Maposhka maybe getting baited past the tier 1 tower is going to go down.
Whoa.
And that was a very nice bait lane by Kasane, who had the mangoes ready and also had a couple of 1 charges, proving to be just enough to survive.
Man, he's going to get really scary now. He's hitting that timing into the phylactery. So every use of that Mystic Snake's now going to hurt even more. A lot of slows to stack with your Skywrath Mage. And then the lane start for Kasane is huge.
Top lane Collapse in big danger, though Tomato's the one to go down first. So no healing coming up for the Bloodseeker. Whitemon, he's going to go for a run, but Mira is on the chase and maybe might just have enough. 1 more right click would do it, but Whitemon, he's juking up through the tree line, and now Mira, he's going a bit too far. The blood grenade connecting. Mira, oh no, he's going to go down.
Whitemon! What is that?
That's the ignition god, Jonathan. What a juke from Whitemon.
See, that's why they let him chew on cereal or whatever he was having before a match.
Damn
Just
right.
get him energized.
Ari's going to go, though. Bottom lane, Maposhka proving to be way too much here on the techies against the Skywrath, and that's actually the 3rd death now for Ari. And to be fair, John, this is not a hero I've seen him play very often from the NADPC, so not sure what to expect, but he seems to be having a pretty challenging time right now down at the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's not a smooth time. I think Kasane's been able to maximize the space that Ari creates by kind of just being bait at the least, and they are already kind of intercepting Maposhka, who wants to try to steal the Wisdom Rune.
Yeah, it's always good to try and go for that 7-minute Wisdom Rune. Maposhka, he's still going to try the nice case from Whitemon mid-air. Whitemon picking up the techie's kill, or rather Ari does, but Whitemon catching him before he gets that blast off, and another nice play from our Lich.
Whitemon's just been so on point. The movement, the calls to go together here on TSM. This is such an improved TSM coming out here, Mike. Like this, I don't think even in the NADPC we've seen them play this coordinated in laning phase. It's just looking extra sharp. Like Bryle's having a good time mid, as you'd expect, although...
Oh, zip in. Lal, he's going to try and go after the mid lane. Bryle and the Wind Ranger going to wind run. In fact, go for the focus fight back on the storm. They've got that kill. Bryle may still go down here and will, but it's probably worthwhile considering he got the kill first, as now Maposhka is going to go down as well. Tomato even showing up on the Bloodseeker just in case they needed it. And they didn't. But still, in the end, you'd have to call that a major win for TSM, finding 2 kills and making sure Brawl does secure a kill before he does go down.
And that was big. You get the Storm kill first, your Wind Ranger's off to this really strong start. You have enough room to even bring Tomato in. Like, that's a great sign for TSM. Everything's kind of lining up. Every lane going well. They've got a very slight advantage to start them off here with. And it's a good foundation to keep that ball rolling. Sure, Tomato's farm might be taking a hit relative to everyone else, but this strong start for Brawl and Kasane, these are heroes that you're going to have an issue trying to pin down here.
Ancient Seal out mid lane on the Mirana. That's not going to really amount to much, as Lal is actually hanging around the mid lane. He might try to go after the Storm, but he's not exactly a very easy target to catch. Smoke popped. Lal might actually break the smoke on Whitemon, and does. Heading up top, looks like they're going to try and aim down Collapse instead, but no, they look a little bit lost here, TSM. The Tidehunter's certainly not going to be the easiest target in the world to secure. The thing is, he's got Ravage, but they're going to pop the Rupture anyway. They're going to try for this. Chain Frost is out, not bouncing towards the time, but now it will, but Lal's in. Ravage is committed. Collapse, trying to fight back the best he can. It's not looking too good for him, but he's still alive. Tomato, he'll finally secure the kill as Lal is chasing him down desperately, trying to get the Bloodseeker, but now Lal's in trouble. He does have enough mana, though, to zip away, but TSM, they are taking over this team fight. They've even caught the Storm now. That's 3 down for the price of nothing. Oh, God. TSM! I mean, who is this team, Jonathan? Where were they a month ago?
I don't know. I don't recognize them at all. Like that little play. Tomato holding on for the right click at the end. He gets the healing out from killing off Collapse. The team gives him enough space to secure that for himself, and that just allows him to zip all over that follow-up fight. Like, that was just great discipline coming out from TSM, which is, again, not something we've seen in the DPC. So whatever did they done to set up for DreamLeague, it looks like it's working out well. 5-12, 2K start, Laurel.
Brawl, if he could set up for a stun, and he won't be able to, he'll just casually throw out a shackle shot. Brawl, though, gonna get lucky with the haste rune. Does pick it up for himself. Sadly for Lal, he does not get lucky whatsoever. Be forced to go back into the triangle and take some stacks to try and catch up in terms of that net worth. But it's kind of the thing with Storm in this meta, right? Like, you don't have a nice kind of mana battery for yourself in the draft. You've had a bit of a slower start as the Storm Spirit this game, number one. It can be a little bit challenging to catch up when you're in a position like this.
Yeah, it feels rough, because you're also farming up in the jog. Up top again?
Rupture is there, Collapse. He's going to be the big target. A nice gaze from Whitemon again, stopping the blast off from Maposhka. Maposhka is still trying to fight this one out, but is certainly going to drop as Collapse is still around. Still trying to find an escape route out of this team fight. But they are not leaving the man alone. Collapse going to be spotted here by Whitemon, shackled up by Bryle. And eventually he will be dropping as the block even from the Lich. Really going to ensure he has nowhere to go. TSM now 2K in the lead in this game one, 5-14. You couldn't have asked for a better start for TSM, like really. The only lane going well right now for Team Spirit is Yatoro's. And even then, Kasane is still ahead on the Medusa.
Yeah, he's able to just farm a lot better. The movement out from TSM has just been so on point. Bryle taking all this early activity on the Wind Ranger. Has to be a bit careful.
Yeah, speaking of the Wind Ranger, Bryle, he's going to get caught out. A nice mine there, but Bryle is still trying to run. Shackle will not land. They are still trying to fight this one out as the Ravage. Collapse fighting 3 targets. They will take down the Wind Ranger. They even found Whitemon on the Lich. But Kasane, he's trying to trade a little bit. Problem is, he is kind of by himself. I mean, Ari is around, but he's a sitting duck right now as they're trying to zip in. Tomato, he's going to show up with another Rupture onto Collapse, as he will just casually chase down Lal. But they have the Moonlight Shadow to try and survive this as Collapse is still going down. Tomato will pick him off, back in on Maposhka. They want the techies. In goes Lal again, but the Ancient Seal from Ari. Not going to allow him to keep going. It will wear off eventually, though, but now he's out of mana, and Tomato has the thirst, so he can chase him down and provide the vision. Bloodright is not going to land. So Lal should be okay in the end. So he will juke out that final concussive shot. But it's another team fight win for TSM. It's a 2-for-0 trade in their favor.
Yeah, again, the coordination from the team, it's on point. They managed to stack their debuffs onto Collapse, force them to move. They use the Ravage just onto Bryle, so they know they've got that opening with a quick response and that movement down mid. And the punishment is severe. On Team Spirit, they're still finding a couple of pickoffs, and you're still more than happy slowing down the Wind Ranger a bit, especially since her courier was down for that entire time, so you didn't have the double crown with all the stats that the Wind Ranger loves going into that Gleipnir. It is up for Bryle now. And that same movement's going to be a lot harder with the additional damage, additional stacks for Bryle, more HP to play with on hand. And this game for Team Spirit, it's all about kind of trying to slow down the pace. Toro is still set for, honestly, a decent timing into Battle Fury. He's got all the parts ready, considering that slower lane. So your Jug can kind of ramp up now. It's just that you have to buy time for the Jug to hit those item spikes. And you were talking about Diffusal, maybe down the line, Sanjin Yasha if you feel like it, or a Basher.
There we go, running right into Maposhka. The techies immediately bursted as Lal. He's actually going to zip in. But without the techies, I don't know if they really want the fight. Mira, not going to get hit with the shackle into a tree, but Power Shot is going to land perfectly here from Bryle. double kill for the Wind Ranger. And it's funny, John, because during the draft we were talking about how this Wind Ranger hasn't looked amazing, but so far Brawl's having a great time. There's now Tomato, gonna rotate mid lane, has found Collapse. Collapse has nowhere to go but down. And now a triple kill out for Brawl. He will find his 5th kill of the game. And they are just not slowing down. TSM absolutely smothering the side of Team Spirit.
I love it. I think the Wind Ranger in particular, I didn't expect it to be so good against the Storm, but if you can't right-click.
Oh, he's the big one, John. He just committed spin. He's got TP available, but it may be too late as the run of Atos will land. Bryle even committing the shackle with the power shot on Whitemon. With the Chain Frost, is able to secure the kill. And Yatoro, I don't think will be very happy with that.
No. He's just struggling. They are looking for mid.
Non-stop action. Whitemon getting caught out, but what is he setting up for? Because Lal's gone too deep. Lal is down again. It is not worth the trade for a Lich. And now Bryle could even find Mira. Moonlight Shadow doing absolutely nothing for the Mirana. That's 3 down across the board. And they only found Whitemon.
Yeah, it's not anything at all. Finding the Lich, sacrificing your Storm once more. Again, they're trying to make these moves happen. They're trying to give space for Yatoro, but the sacrifices are a bit too much. They might find an opportunity down bot, and they've got Ravage ready if they wanted to play with Collapse, but there's no follow-through as their mid does fall to TSM. 8-22, 5k up. Is there anyone out there that would have expected this kind of start? 8-22 in TSM's favor?
Not you, Jonathan. You said 80-20 in favor of TSM in your prediction.
Yeah, in favor to TSM, yes, for sure. That's exactly what I said. That's my implication. Thank you, Mike. I'm fine. I'm safe. I'm safe.
I'll let you go this time, Jonathan. I'll let you go this time. Next time I'll be on your ass. Don't you worry. Well, I mean, how can I not say TSM, Jonathan? Look at the way they're playing. Yeah. That's all you can think about right now is how well TSM's playing this game.
It's ridiculous. If this was the TSM at the DPC, they'd be at the major. They might have been able to beat Shopfire Rebellion like this. You know?
I mean, they beat him twice. It wouldn't be too surprising, but, you know, nonetheless. TSM grouping up in the mid lane. They'll smoke as 3. They want to head down towards the bottom lane because they know Team Spirit are trying to push down that tier 1 tower. And they also understand how powerful they are right now. Like, you look at the net worth graph. All 3 cores at the top here for TSM. I'm sure in terms of levels, they're way ahead as well as Bryle. Gonna have his smoke broken. Maposhka will be there. Ancient Seal is out immediately, and the concussive shot actually goes towards the creep wave. But nevertheless, they are gonna find the techies for free. Nice little freebie for the side of TSM. At the very least, Mirror and Collapse both will be able to back their way out of it.
Yeah, as long as you're not bleeding out as much for Team Spirit, you're kind of happy. You're still playing the stall game. You're trying to get Yatoro that space to farm, get that build-up you'd want here. And TSM, they'll just find a freebie objective, back off. Mira just cutting the creep wave as best as he can to stall out any further push, getting some solo farm for himself as well. And some good room for him. It's just not good room for everyone else yet.
They've caught the Storm there for a moment, but he's proven to be a little bit too tanky this time. Not dying to the Mystic Flare of Ari is now the zip forward. Lal trying to find something for his trouble, but the Glimmer Cape was out from Ari to ensure he did not get caught. Sadly for Team Spirit, they did not have detection available for that Skywrath Mage, but they are still coming in with the Moonlight Shadow. Bryle, he'd be a massive target if they could initiate. They know he's farming around the area somewhere, but they're just lacking vision for the side of Spirit, so it's kind of hard to get the initiation you're looking for here. And instead, they'll be forced to back off as TSM, they are moving forward once again. This time they'll find Mira with the Glimmer Cape initiation from Ari. And Whitemon will take the kill with the Frost Blast on the Lich. And top lane now, Maposhka and Collapse both forced to back off, as they should know TSM are collapsing top. But they may not make it in time, and by time I mean Team Spirit not making it in time here, John. So Maposhka will get caught out. But the Ancient Seal really has no gameplay, so he will go down as well.
And this is scary. TSM, they've hit this timing on Kasane. He's got his full Ags flying out now on the Dusa. With the travel, it's in Phylactery. This is the key timing for that offlane Dusa. Into the Shard. Like, how do you even target the Dusa at this point? You know, and we talked about Jug timing into Diffusal. That's not even a priority for Yatoro. He's having to opt for the Manta style first, just to have some defense from that Ancient Seal. So you don't have a Deuce answer, you don't have a good way of bursting down Bryle with magic damage. You do have some barriers coming out from Collapse with the mech and the Pipe of Insight, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. We're not seeing those big team fights set up for Team Spirit, and now the Roshan for TSM looks like a freebie.
Money to good use.
Certainly does. And on the bright side, Team Spirit, they are rushing towards Tomato, but they do miss out on the arrow opportunity. The Bloodseeker, though, is still going to get ravaged up, and Omni Slash by Yatoro. They know that Roshan was happening. They catch Tomato with his pants down in the dire triangle, and well, they've left Bryle by himself to take this Roshan here, John. And Bryle, I mean, he's gonna have to focus fire again here. Team Spirit, had they known that Bryle was in the pit by himself, they'd be rushing there right now, I'm sure.
Yeah. Fortunately, they don't. I mean, they find a core kill, which they need. It's just not enough to offset this secondary life for Bryle. It's going to be pretty hard to handle that Wind Ranger building into the Ags now as well. And for the side of TSM, they need to... There is some pressure to take objectives. I don't think you want to try to drag this longer. Your team fight is a little bit more awkward in comparison to, say, an eventual blink timing and Collapse, where he can just blink Ravage, maybe even, say, the Ags down the line for Laurel. Like, once a couple of BKBs fly out in Spirit, it is harder for TSM to take those fights with a debuff immunity up. So for the side of TSM, they're in a strong position. They just need to make sure they build on it. You know? You can't rest easy here if you're TSM.
No, you certainly cannot. The Team Spirit, they are still just kind of taking the time to farm up right now. They understand, like, 4K behind, it's not the biggest of deals, but they've got to just take the opportunity to catch up in terms of net worth when they can, and that they will. TSM now the ones choosing to slow down. Collapse in the mid lane is going to show. Bryle does show up on the Wind Ranger, but not going to see an opportunity to throw out a shackle. It's going to be all about the Wisdom Rune timings now at the 21-minute mark.
Yep.
Group up here from TSM, so they might... Yeah, they'll go for the Tormentor.
Is White Man gonna die? Is anyone gonna die?
He's close!
It's always entertaining to see support struggle with a Tormentor.
That is. That it is.
Sky Shard is always fun as well. A little bit more armor for Ahri coming out in the middle of these fights.
Look at that list. Look at the list of things that changes when you get an Aghanim. So, I mean, come on now. Just fills up the whole screen full of text. Nobody reads that. I
want it longer. I want it longer. I want it so it goes past my screen and I just don't know what it does. Ice Frog, please give me the words.
Stupendous.
Oh,
mid lane, zip in, lull. He's gonna see Ahri, but again the Glimmer Cape usage.
No.
He had dust in the backpack on the Storm. Takes it out of the backpack now, but it's a bit too late for that. A little bit unfortunate for Lal, but it does happen.
It happens. Miss an opportunity to get a nice, easy pick-off coming out here on the side of Team Spirit. You know, there's one thing on my mind while we've got... Oh, never mind. Smoke out here from the side of TSM. I was going to say Phylactery could use an upgrade. And we'll see down the line, maybe in a future patch. Well, why not? Give Phylactery an upgrade.
You know
Make it build into Octarine, the new component for Octarine. There we go.
No. It's going to be a combination of Phylactery and Aether Lens in that case. I think.
Something like that. Give it to us. I'd love that. Sounds really dumb. That's too slot efficient, but you know what? If Pekis can have 700 attack range at level 1 with his damage, we can have a very slot efficient item like that.
With all due respect, John, I'd really appreciate if you stop bringing up techies. I'm trying to use it as much as I can right now.
I thought you were using Spirit Breaker. But what's this?
I use techies +5. John, Spirit Breaker +4. Get with the times. What are you doing?
Alright. I just play Abaddon 1. Oh.
I actually saw one of your games today, by the way. I saw a big comeback from you on the ABBA one. Well done, Jonathan.
It's a fun hero. It's a fun hero. And this is a fun game. 9-25. The lead has shrunk for TSM. Again, they can't afford to really stay too passive here. The Jug will be an issue down the line.
Blast off is going to be there. To the low ground he goes. Bryle not able to catch up to him. We'll have to let him go. TSM do go for a chase, but it will not amount to much. And this is very favorable for Team Spirit. Like, that net worth has closed down to 1k now. As a Rupture is going to come out and get Toro, but nothing's going to come out of it. It's just a bit of a warning shot here from Tomato, amounting to nothing. And again, I think all this time that Team Spirit's had is just massive for them. Because now the net worth is basically even.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to deal with Yatoro. I think that's the key factor, right? If this Jug is allowed to farm into that Diffusal, which Yatoro just picks up now, into the Butterfly, the Omni Slash is not something you can deal with all too well until you get maybe a Halberd up here.
Poshka. Well, he's split pushing the top lane. He might die for this. Whitemon's going to have a look around and does get the gaze in time. So the Techies does get caught out. Maposhka, though, he's doing his job. That's kind of the thing, and that's the perfect thing of Team Spirit here in this game one, is all the lanes are just constantly pushed out, especially the side lanes, and it's making it impossible for TSM to continue that real aggression that they were having 10 minutes ago. And even if you die as a +5 split push in the top lane, like, who cares? You're doing your job. Is your Toro? Spin TP away, he's going to be just fine. But as I was saying, John, they're just denying TSM any form of aggression that they once had.
Yeah, they're not able to even touch the tier 2s just yet on TSM's end. This could change with Brawl picking up the Ags flying out right now. So you will have that upgraded Wind Run. Feels pretty damn good, especially since 50% physical reduction. So even if you have a way of hitting Wind Ranger, just 50 reduction is huge for Brawl to have a lot of survivability in the middle. And of course, that just means you always have to carry dust. You always have to pop that dust, otherwise Wind Ranger just gets to scurry around for free.
Big smoke here from Team Spirit. You're looking for a big Ravage here from Collapse, but Lal will have to set up here on the Storm as Kasane is going to break the smoke immediately, getting the Stone Gaze off just in the nick of time, so they can't keep going for this initiation. A great Shackles as well, but Yatoro, he just spins out of it. He'll be fine. Gaze is there from Whitemon, though, trying to hold the man down as the Jug is forced to turn around and fight. Thing was, he had the healing ward, so he's so healthy right now in this Juggernaut, and Kasane's the one that gets caught out. A huge Ravage from Collapse as well, landing on all 5 heroes. But still, they've only lost Kasane. Brawl desperately trying to chase for a little bit more now, but Tomato trying to go after Collapse. The Tide is going to be perhaps left behind, though he's just so tanky. Tomato desperately trying to get the kill, but just can't do it. Collapse will walk away. And TSM, they're the ones to lose too.
They've just taken too much of their time. Team Spirit managing to drag them around the map, ensure that their objectives don't fall, to reach this point where the investment on Yatoro is paying off. You've got a really steady solution now for Kasane. The Bloodseeker is just not going to have a good time if he can't come up because of the Tide. And we can just see how hard it is right now for the side of TSM to take anything.
Well, Tomato could be in trouble here as well. They are trying to dive the bottom lane right now. Team Spirit, in fact, another team fight's breaking out as we speak. Whitemon going after Maposhka, Team Spirit. They were trying to find Tomato on the Bloodseeker, but now they're the ones being hunted as Collapse. He's going to man up and turn right back around here against TSM. Problem is, though, he doesn't have Ravage to throw out. So he's just a walking tank at the moment. A huge watermelon. And eventually he will drop. So suddenly TSM finding 2 for their trouble. It's kind of the thing for Team Spirit, like, you may feel like you're ahead now, but TSM, they want the 5v5 engagements. They're more than happy to oblige.
Especially when Ravage is down. Like, you lack your key teamfight control when Collapse can't throw out that spell. So it starts to get pretty rough for the side of Spirit when that big piece of utility is taken away. TSM just forced them away. You know, they overstayed their welcome in Team Spirit. They overestimate what they can do without Ravage. And TSM, they reeled back the game just a little bit. You still have an issue with Yatoro. You still need a way of stopping this Jug. The Basher coming out from Tomato is going to be a pretty solid solution. Until then, you don't have a great way of jumping in. I think that's one thing as well for TSM. Your initiation is a little bit awkward. You know, you don't have a Storm that can just zip in. You don't have a Blink initiator on hand as well. So you are kind of forced to play almost like a counter-fight style. So, Team Spirit looking to move forward. Ravage is off cooldown now.
It certainly is. In Team Spirit, they want to try and make use of it straight away. You can just force the Roshan if you really want. Smoke is broken. Tomato, he went through the twin gates and broke the smoke of Team Spirit. Though Spirit, they've got a great ward on the high ground now. Even some mines to give that information over with the sound cue. Kasane, he'll move up and get the D ward off. But Roshan, already at half HP. It's not an easy team fight for TSM to take. Into the Ravage of Collapses now Kasane. He's going to get jumped straight off the bat. Chainfrost committed, but Kasane is just melting. Going down way too quick and he's just gone. Whitemon also down. They are trying to focus Yatoro here with the focus fire, but the Ravage comes out from Collapse, landing on 3 targets. Blast off the follow-up. They've got the Wind Ranger. That's already 4 down for the side of TSM. They need to retreat. This is not the fight they wanted.
Oh,
Whitemon, yeah, I believe he just brought back into this fight. And he's going right back to the graveyard. Dieback for Whitemon. And Team Spirit, what a comeback in this game 1 it has been so far. Roshan to go their way. And just understanding how powerful they are at the moment with all their spells up. And you saw it here, John. But Kasane, he tries to move up. But Yatoro with the Omni Slash and Diffusal Blade, it's just too much. His whole mana pool just disappears in an instant.
Yeah, you can't have Kasane soaking up the Omni like that. It actually has to be Bryle. It needs to be the Wind Ranger up there, and he's just low ground position trying to focus fire, uphill misses. Like, it's not a great spot to be in. Someone had to share that damage with Kasane. If he managed to get the Stone Gaze off in that fight, could have been a very different story. And then Whitemon just buying back and dying for no real gains. It's a massive loss for TSM. They're now 9k behind off the back of that fight, as Team Spirit had a better position, had a better understanding, and TSM, it's just looking a little bit shaky. They still have a way back into this game, but they've got to find some better positions. It's just when they take these fights in such awkward angles, it's just so odd.
Yeah, now it gets even more challenging, John. Like, Yatoro's got a full butterfly up on the jug. So he's going to be that much more challenging to take down here, even with the focus fire up. And Olal, he's going to zip in. He found Tomato. That's the Bloodseeker being caught out. The BKB, it is there. He'll try to TP away in time, and he barely makes it. On about 100 HP, the Bloodseeker does get himself out. The rest of TSM retreating, tails between the legs. They don't not believe they can fight Team Spirit at the moment, and I kind of agree with them on that.
I don't know, like, these fights have to start with Bryle. He is probably the best here they have to start an engagement with. Oh no, Reflected Chain Frost.
It's going to be fine. Only bounces once towards Ari, but Team Spirit are collapsing right here at the top lane. They want to go. They found Kasane. The Omni Slash is available, and they'll pop it immediately with the creep wave. It does spawn up. Yatoro, they glyph the creep wave. They glyph the creep wave. The Omni Slash completely wasted, but you've still got Ravage available. You can still make use of that. Ari, he's going to be the first one to drop. Lal being focused fired up, but he's going to be fine. A nice little trick with the glyph to waste the Omni Slash. Finding only a 1-for-1. But Team Spirit, they still have Ravage. They can still go.
They still have this path onto the objectives if they wanted to. Like, they know Stone Gaze is down for a little bit longer. It is off cooldown now for Kasane, though, as I say that. So a little bit of team fight coming out here for TSM. They've got to be able to share this damage with Kasane somehow.
Lal petrified immediately. Arrow actually off the mark here from Mira, so Kasane, he can get the Stone Gaze off in time and try to turn this one around. Shackle's going to land onto the junk, but it's not doing quite enough to lock him down. And he still has the Aegis anyway. And the thing is, Collapse on this Tide, like, he's just so damn tanky. He just takes the brunt of the damage for Spirit. And just the threat of his life is not really there. Like, he knows he's going to walk out of that.
Yeah, he knows he's not under any real threat. They maintain their 12k lead on Team Spirit. They hold on to the Ravage. TSM just going to go for the Tormentor. Should be able to find itself a secondary shard. Whitemon will have the Ice Spire up. So a little bit more you can do now for the Lich up front, but Team Spirit trying to smoke through here.
Yeah, trying to use Yatoro as bait. Collapse does reveal himself as well. TSM not taking said bait. And I think for Spirit, just waiting for the Omni Slash to be back up before they move high ground. But Yatoro, I mean, he has it in 20 seconds. So it's not too far away. He can start on the tier 3 tower and just wait that ulti up. Oh, nice shackle here from Brawl, though, locking him down. It's not going to be enough, however. Yatoro is still very, very healthy and still has the Aegis up. With the healing ward, he is going to be able to retreat quite safely. That may be it for them for now. Team Spirit still sticking around, but ultimately will decide better of it and will not try for the bottom tier 3.
Yeah. And they still have the safety net of the Aegis, though. So they're still gonna clump around here. Again, Ravage back up. Or never been used. They have Omni Slash back up. Kasane?
Oh, Kasane. There's a zip in immediately from Lyle. BKB popped to try and protect himself from this chain crossing. Yatoro, just with the spin alone, is going through the mana pool of the Medusa so darn quickly. Kasane just disappears. Does have buyback available, but doesn't really seem like he'd like to pop it. He will, however. They do not want to lose this lane of barracks, though. Mid lane, Tomato has been caught out. Collapse, he has the Ravage if they need it. They'll throw the Nullifier out from Mirror. Arrow's going to connect as well. The Bloodseeker in huge trouble, and he's gone. No buyback as now the Ravage Collapse landing on all four. Completely blind. Just landing on everyone. It's Kasane. He's going to be okay to back off with the Stone Gaze, but not quite. Mirrors in with the Arrow. That's a dieback on the Medusa. Team Spirit. Oh, they make it look easy, John.
They just execute a lot better. Like, TSM take their time, they stall out this game, and they play a farm war where they don't hunt down Yatoro, gunning for the tier 4s.
Lyle's in again, trying to really put a nail in the coffin of TSM here in this game. One Azari will go down. One buyback available here for Brawl, but it's not worth it. They call GG. And Team Spirit, I mean, man, oh man, they had a real rough time to start off this game. But I'll tell you what, John, they get it together and they make it work here in this game 1. And after that, say, 20-25 minute mark, it just felt like